Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News at 11 starts now.
Good evening. The Boy Scouts of America have filed for bankruptcy, according to a court document filed in Delaware Bankruptcy Court earlier today. The youth organization, which celebrated its 110th anniversary earlier this month, listed liabilities of between $100 million and $500 million, but only $50,000 or less in assets. The bankruptcy filing comes at a time when the organization faces hundreds of sexual abuse lawsuits, thousands of alleged abuse victims, and dwindling membership numbers. As a result of the filing, all civil litigation against the organization is suspended. Well, we are following some breaking news tonight out of downtown Bakersfield. Here is a live look at the scene of a crash in downtown. A single vehicle rollover has temporarily closed westbound 24th Street at I Street as Bakersfield police investigate. Now, this is right near the Chevron station, as you can see in the background there. You can see on the right hand of your screen that car on its roof. We have heard that this is a minor injury crash. Thankfully, the driver is expected to be okay, but as you can see, quite a mess down here in downtown Bakersfield at this hour. As we mentioned, westbound 24th Street is closed at this hour, but again, minor injuries to report. No word on what caused the crash, but we'll continue to keep an eye on that and keep you updated right here and online at turnto23.com. New developments tonight. Home decor retailer Pier 1 has filed for bankruptcy after racking up $59 million in losses. A company statement released today says Pier 1 has cut a deal with lenders to get $250 million in financing, and now the company is focusing on looking for a buyer. Pier 1 had already been in the process of closing hundreds of stores, but it still has about 500 locations up and running. The company is the latest brick and mortar retailer to fall victim to online competitors like Amazon and big box chains Target and Walmart. We have reached out to Pier 1 to see if the two Bakersfield locations are impacted, but so far have not heard back. Preparations for the president's trip to Bakersfield later this week are already underway. He's set to talk about water issues impacting the Central Valley. 23 ABC's Alex Bell has the details on where the president will land and his arrival.
On Wednesday, President Trump is scheduled to fly into Bakersfield to meet with local congressman and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy about efforts to improve water supply for farmers in California and other western states. Representatives from a private charter company at Meadowsfield Airport told 23 ABC that a C-5 transport plane from the U.S. Air Force arrived Monday morning to unload unspecified cargo and personnel ahead of President Trump's visit Wednesday. 23 ABC cameras were live streaming as crews in military uniform and suits worked around the plane and unloaded various cargo. A staircase was also removed from the nose of the plane and then put back in. According to the private charter company, representatives of the Secret Service were at the airport on Friday. Another local business told me that Secret Service agents also came to their businesses last Friday. The employee said Secret Service looked inside their business and wanted agents inside and on the roof, as well as camera access. The employee also stated that things had been very tight-lipped compared to when Vice President Mike Pence made a trip to Bakersfield. After the president's trip to the Central Valley on Wednesday, he will be heading to Las Vegas, where Thursday he'll be delivering remarks at the Hope for Prisoners graduation ceremony at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Headquarters. The president will discuss his administration's efforts to provide previously incarcerated Americans with second chances. I'm Alex Bell for 23 ABC News, connecting you.
There is still no official word on where the president plans to go or how long he will be in Bakersfield. But on Wednesday, we will have team coverage and we will be live streaming from Air Force One's landing to takeoff. Well, as we mentioned, President Trump is expected to focus on water issues here in Bakersfield Wednesday. That's according to White House officials. 23 ABC speaking to several local farmers, and they told us they are hoping that President Trump's visit will move the ball forward in addressing water issues in Kern County. Right now, many farmers are still paying 100% of their water bills, but are only receiving a lower percentage of water that they're paying for because of the shortages and restrictions. They said if these issues continue, it could have significant consequences to our local agricultural business.
Because of the water restrictions, we've had less crops being grown in through this company that we do business with, which cut the season short for us. It's made it to the point to where I haven't been able to make the money that I used to make before, so I had to go work elsewhere.
A lot of the issues that we're challenged with are aging infrastructure and a reprioritization of where the water needs to go. And unfortunately, that has meant more and more water has been taken from the farmer.
Local Congressman and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy saying today he shares the farmers' concerns, but he also praised the work the president has already done to secure water for farmers. He said he's eager for the president to arrive and for them to get to work. And we'll have all your coverage on President Trump's visit to Bakersfield online and on air this Wednesday. Be sure to head to our website, turnto23.com, and download our mobile and tablet app. A bill signed into law aimed at reducing emissions and toxic air contaminants in disadvantaged communities is starting to gain momentum. AB 617 was signed into law in 2017 and helps equip farmers with farm equipment that's better for our environment. 23 ABC's Imani Stevens spoke with Shafter residents and a farmer about the future changes. Imani?
Jess, residents of Shafter are in the beginning stages of the Community Emissions Reduction Program. The program recently approved last Thursday at a meeting with the California Air Resources Board. And while the program is in its initial stages, the residents I spoke with today are hopeful about the state's effort to tackle air pollution here in the valley.
Specifically, our two communities in the valley. You have been on the front lines. When you go first,
the California Air Resources Board approved the Community Emissions Reduction Program for the city of Shafter, a partnership between the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District and the Shafter Community Steering Committee to listen and act on concerns of residents and local industries. Tom France, a longtime resident of Shafter and a farmer, says AB 617 is a good start.
When we have electric tractors available, I'll be one of the first to get one. Zero emissions. That's what we want. And there's good about farming too. I mean, plants and trees absorb pollution. They help to clean the air. They put oxygen into the air. They absorb CO2 and put carbon in the soil. And we have to develop all our resources to help reduce greenhouse gases and improve our air quality.
Frant harvests almonds, and he says even within his role as a farmer, there's a benefit in this program.
When we harvest almonds, we don't have to put all that dust into the air. The technology is evolving, but there's a lot of stuff out there that can decrease those dust emissions.
The program involves incentive programs to encourage local industries and residents to take part in reducing emissions. A part of the incentives will include a notification system to inform residents of emissions of air pollutants and toxic air contaminants.
By adding some of the incentive money for a notification, which in the whole state of California, nobody knows what's actually being applied, and bringing it into the table for residents to know what's around their community, what's around their school, the kids' schools, or even for senior citizens that actually don't have any kids in school, what is being applied.
Amendments were added to the program. Recommendations by residents to include monitoring of pesticides. The program approved for $29 million to put the plan to action. Annabelle Marquez, a resident of Shafter, who we spoke to through a translator, says the momentum is growing, and as state officials make an effort to partner with residents and local industries. And Marquez says she agrees that this money will help ensure pollutants such as pesticides aren't sprayed while farm workers are in the field. We are hopeful to achieve many accomplishments, but we need to keep going because right now we might not see it, but hopefully we'll see it as they apply these amendments they put on paper.
We reached out to the California Air Resources Board for comment, but Monday today is a federal holiday and state offices are closed for today. The Shafter Community Steering Committee meets the second Monday of each month, and the next meeting will be held March 9th to discuss the Community Emission Reduction Program requirements and of the program components, emission reduction concepts. Reporting live in studio, I'm Imani Stevens, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Well, the city of McFarland is preparing for another planning commission meeting regarding a possible expansion of the GEO Group's detention center. Tomorrow, the McFarland Planning Commission will meet. One of the topics on the agenda, a second public hearing to approve a permit to expand the Golden State Modified Community Correction Facility on Frontage Road in McFarland. If approved, it would add another 1,400 beds for ICE detainees in Kern County. Hundreds of residents attended the last meeting and forced McFarland police to add extra officers for security. The meeting is set for tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the McFarland Veterans Community Center on West Sherwood Avenue.
Kern County has been feeling very warm conditions, especially over the weekend. Yesterday, Bakersfield had a high of 73 degrees. Today, we were just a few degrees below that in the upper 60s, but still above average today. Actually, the 7th day in a row of temperatures above normal for this time of year. We're actually feeling what we should be feeling in early April. But that's all thanks to high pressure that is now dominating over the region. So we are going to be seeing some high thin clouds that will be passing through the region throughout the early morning hours tomorrow. But then we are going to be seeing clear skies prevail for your Wednesday as well as on Thursday, because those temperatures back to the 70s tomorrow. I'll let you know just how warm we'll be getting later this week. Coming up next.
City Council is gearing up to discuss a number of topics in this week's council meeting, including body cameras for the Bakersfield Police Department. The city is looking to transfer $737,000 in additional sales tax revenue to BPD's capital improvement budget. The money will go toward the fund to purchase body-worn cameras. City officials will discuss the request during Wednesday's meeting.